One of the most notorious murder cases in Texas has been unsolved for more than 40 years. A gunman entered the home of Priscilla Davis in August 1976 and then shot 4 people. 2 were killed, including Davis's 12-year-old daughter. Police began to focus on her ex-husband, Cullen Davis, an oil tycoon. Maureen Maher shows us in a preview of tomorrow's 48 Hours how money made all the difference in this case.
This is a case that involves wealth, sex, vengeance, murder.
Christy Jack is a former prosecutor turned defense attorney. She grew up blocks from the scene of the crime, the 1976 shootings at the mansion belonging to oil millionaire Cullen Davis and his flamboyant wife, Priscilla.
Priscilla was 5'2", feisty little blonde. She had big hair and packed a Texas-sized personality in that little frame.
After several years of marriage, the couple broke up. Priscilla wanted $50 million and had her husband barred from the mansion. And Cullen was furious, says former prosecutor Jack Strickland.
Cullen's writing the checks.
Right, and he's writing the checks.
Yeah.
He can't get in the house.
He can't get in the house.
One August night, Priscilla and her boyfriend, a former college basketball player named Stan Farr, came home with friends and walked into an ambush. A gunman dressed entirely in black opened fire. Priscilla was shot in the chest. Stan Farr was next. When it was over, Stan Farr was dead. Priscilla and a friend were wounded, and in the basement, police would discover the body of 12-year-old Andrea Wilborn, Priscilla's daughter from another marriage.
The DA's office theory behind the crime was that Cullen committed all of these crimes because of the divorce. His hatred of Priscilla was so intense that he was going to kill her, and anyone else that stood in the way would simply be collateral damage.
But there was something the DA's office may not have anticipated. Cullen Davis's wealth seemed to affect the case, starting the very night of his arrest.
You can begin to see the special treatment already start. I mean, after all, you're talking about the death of a child. But in Cullen Davis's case, he was allowed not only the luxury of getting dressed, even went so far as putting on a sport jacket. There were no handcuffs. He wasn't treated like the normal suspect.
You always have something to work with when you have an innocent man.
Cullen bought the best lawyer there was, Racehorse Haynes.
His worth was estimated at about $500 million. I don't think we can underestimate the effect that his wealth had on public opinion.
Maureen Maher is with us. Maureen, so how did his wealth affect this case?
So I think that he was able to buy one of the first high-priced defense teams, but really, Racehorse Haynes pioneered what we see today, turning your defendant into a celebrity and villainizing the victim. I mean, he hired what was then a PR team to go out and put out good publicity about Cullen Davis. Here was a man accused of killing a 12-year-old child, and people were asking him for his autograph as he was coming out of the courthouse. And I think you see that in today's big trials.
Richard Haynes died recently. I read that the other day. But where's Cullen Davis? What's
so Cullen Davis now lives in a very modest home in Fort Worth, and you'll see what he's doing. He's leading a very different life than he was 20 years ago.
Really fascinating. Maureen, thank you so much. Maureen's report is part of a special 48 Hours double feature tomorrow that starts at 9, 8 Central. Her story, Murder in the Mansion, airs at 10, 9 Central. That's right here on CBS.